All right, let's jump right into today's explainer because the weather gripping the United States today, August 11, 2026, is absolutely wild. We are truly a nation under extremes right now. To really wrap your head around how bizarre things are today, just picture this. You've got San Francisco sitting comfortably in sweater weather, a cool 63 degrees thanks to a marine layer trapping ocean air right at the surface. But then, you hop over just a couple states to Lake Havasu, and it is literally baking at a severe 114 degrees. That is a 50-plus degree whiplash. So let's start by digging into Section 1, dangerous heat and fires. Dangerous, record-threatening temperatures are just dominating the map right now. I mean, we're looking at red in California searing at 107, Las Vegas, 112 degrees. Even Casper, Wyoming is hitting 101, which is absolutely critical for fire weather, and Dallas is locked right in at 100 degrees. And, the absolute peak of this heat wave is just staggering. We are talking daytime highs hitting or even topping 115 degrees in isolated desert spots. And it doesn't even stop at night. Places like Phoenix are barely dropping into the 90s overnight. So people, buildings, the whole environment, they get zero time to cool down before the sun comes right back up. Now, over in Texas, the danger is a bit different. You take that dry heat, mix in some heavy Gulf moisture, and bam, the heat index, what it actually feels like when you step outside, shoots up to a blistering 107 degrees in places like Fort Worth. And heat like this, it brings some really nasty secondary threats. All that dry, oppressive air is cranking up the grass fire risk in Texas. Up in Boise, they are under red flag warnings, meaning you've got warm temps, super low humidity, and strong winds teaming up to create extreme fire danger. Plus, massive active wildfires out in the Pacific Northwest are funneling hazardous, choking smoke right across into the Mountain West. So, with half the country essentially baking under a giant heat dome and breathing in smoke, what on earth is happening with the rest of the country? Well, that brings us to Section 2, Tropical Storm Bertha. Right now, Bertha is packing 60-mile-per-hour winds, but honestly, the real danger here is how slow it's moving. It's crawling at just 6 miles per hour. That is basically a light morning jog. And this agonizingly slow pace means coastal communities from the Florida Panhandle all the way west to Louisiana are facing relentless, lingering rain and a 1 to 3 foot storm surge. Because of this, New Orleans is officially under a tropical storm warning. Now, given the city's elevation, flooding is always the big worry. But some good news here, Governor Jeff Landry confirmed that over 90% of the city's major drainage pumps are fully operational as they brace for all this incoming water. Okay, moving on to our final piece of the puzzle, Section 3, severe storms moving east. The Storm Prediction Center has actually flagged an enhanced risk for severe thunderstorms today. They're warning about a Boeing storm system. If you haven't heard that term, it's basically when strong winds literally push the center of a storm line forward, making it look like an archer's bow. These can whip up wind gusts well over 75 miles per hour, alongside these highly organized rotating supercells that bring a huge risk of large hail. And this threat doesn't just sit still. It aggressively shifts east throughout the day. It kicks off in the upper Midwest overnight, turns into a massive excessive rainfall and flooding threat for Chicago during the day, and by evening, it reaches the East Coast, putting places like Philly and Newark squarely under severe thunderstorm watches. As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to stress a vital warning from the National Weather Service about this nationwide heat. They point out that heat illness can progress rapidly without intervention. So please check on your vulnerable neighbors and try to stay indoors during those peak afternoon hours. When you take a step back and look at the whole picture, these suffocating heat domes, crawling tropical storms, and fierce-spelling winds all happening at once, it leaves us with one really critical question. As these extremes become our daily reality, is our local infrastructure truly prepared to handle it? Thanks for joining me to break this all down today, and please stay safe out there.